Welcome to the CoinRock Show. Welcome to Monday. Let's give it a few minutes here for the algorithm to push the stream out. Monday market news, bear market vibes, and what comes next? Are we in a bear market? How are the vibes on the timeline? We'll talk about that too. Let me just push this out to let's just push this out right now, and then welcome everyone. Click like, comment, and everything. You know how we do it. Let's just give it a few minutes here. And all right, so let's share this. Very, very slow day today, but we're here delivering on the promise of just showing up. Welcome guys. Type in one. I will say today I've had some fever over the last day or so. You know, when you're feeling a bit under the weather, but it was a full day nonetheless. And we'll get going here in a few minutes. Here, type in, just click like, share the stream. Just trying to push this out. All right, good. Should be good to go now. All right, so welcome to those who just joined. I think we should be good here. We should be good. Let's have a look at. I want to talk about this post here about the markets. I want to talk about the news that came out since Friday over the weekend, and of course what's happening today. The market opened. Let's just share this here. Copy, and let's push this out to the groups. Thank you for the mods here. Always takes a few minutes to get going, especially in a very, very slow market. So, and then we'll get into there you go. All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. So today, Monday, what's going on in the markets? The market is green. You know that meme where it's like down. Let me, so you guys can see this. It's like down and down and down and down and down, and then the market just ticks up green a bit, and people are like, oh my god, yes. And that with the guy with the champagne celebrating on the podium. That's kind of what's happening in the market right now, right? So yes, it's green technically. Let's refresh actually, because this is it's been ranging for weeks now. Okay, so we're up. Bitcoin is up less than 0.1% on the day, right? ETH is up 1%. Woohoo! Amazing. So look, last week we were at what, 80, 86, 87, 88, 83 now, green on the daily. I mean, this is what we've been saying for months now. Tomorrow, April 1st, tomorrow, you know, it's not looking great. It's not looking great, guys. And so you can see the timeline is in pretty much. I think we reached a if you notice, we reached a new phase over the last few days. Right now, the timeline is dead. So there's some anger. Still, we'll get into the anger part. But you know, it's looking at what's happening here in the top 100. There's some green pockets of green. Again, it's green based on what, late last week. I mean, okay, how good is that, right? It's not super bullish, right? But if you know the CoinRock Show, if you've been here and you are a regular, you know that, you know, it's this is very much expected, right? So we'll talk about my views of what's coming next in the market. And again, this is not just my opinion. have, we research. We have analysts who do this, who research the macro, who research the charts much better than I do. I mean, I am not a chartist, but I have access to some of the best in the business. So it definitely informs. Tools and charts really give you it's something that you add to your interpretation of the market. So it's not the only thing that guides our view at CoinRock, but it's definitely something that contributes to having a more clarity on what's happening now. Top 100 pockets of green. I mean, I saw some, depending on what you hold, right? This is just like, again, liquidity kind of going up and down around. Look at this. I mean, let's be realistic, right? Plus on the top 100, 0.1, and then everything's red. So what's interesting is over the weekend, usually a lot of shenanigans happen over the weekend, whether it's trading, whether it's low liquidity, whether it's scam wicks, up or down. Again, if you're a regular, if you're here every day, several times a week, you know that this is something that we completely forecasted months ago. So let's have a look at my view. I tweeted something I retweeted something a few days ago, pinned it to my here last week, right? So back on the 11th of November, I pretty much said this is what's going to happen. And again, when you make these public quote forecasts / predictions, yes, you can get them wrong, but I'm usually extremely careful. You won't see me throw like 1,000 different scenarios and price targets. If you're here, you know that this is what I've been saying for months now. We are in this choppy downwards trajectory. There's pain, there's fear, there's panic. But I talked about this, next week. This will be 5 months ago. This is playing out exactly the way that I thought it would. Again, October, November, December, we had the Trump pump, the Trump trade. Congrats to those who took it. I have been very vocal since, saying that there's no real bullish catalyst for the short term. But I also say, and I hope that it's clear in your minds. I hope that you understand this. I'm extremely bullish for the mid to long term. Extremely bullish. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But let's have a look at what I tweeted. So yesterday, I tweeted this. Everyone's panicking. Stocks down, crypto crashing. We talked about Trump uncertainty, right? As you know, the market loves certainty. As the moment that we have some uncertainty, everything bearish starts playing out, right? All the problems that were problems for years, like the debt, the US debt, nothing new. But now, of course, it's in the headlines. Oh my God. Yeah, because narratives follow price action. Going up, oh, let's throw all these bullish headlines in the news. Oh, we're going down. Oh, yeah, it's because of the debt. It's because of this, because of that. So it's very easy to jump to conclusions and say, oh, yes, it's only because of XYZ thing. And it works both ways, right? Especially in crypto. So narratives follow price. GM, welcome everyone who's just joining. And if you guys have been, if you are regulars to, on the show here, you know that this is something that we talked about for months. So everyone's panicking. We talk almost every day about tariffs, volatility, fear. But what I want to tell you guys, and I really want you to grasp this, and I understand that your bags are down. I get that. I'd say 99.9% of the coins are down based on early Q1 this year. There is fear. There's anger. There's it also depends how you handle investments and your money, and how much of your net worth is in crypto. For some, you feel pain, you feel depression, fear. I can see a lot of FUD all over the board, right? All across the board. So my point here in this tweet that I put out yesterday is that we've seen this before. And the saying goes that the market has a very short memory. And you can learn and study the cycles, you can learn and study the crises throughout history, but humans, we are creatures of habits. We tend to forget things very quickly. But when you take a step back and you actually look at what's happening now, remember, I was of everyone that I see on Twitter, I was the first one to coin the term "we are in a Trump dependent market" months ago. Talked about this, right? One tweet. That's why it's so difficult to trade this, because you're one tweet away from getting liquidated. Forget about fundamentals. Forget about levels. You can have the best charts, the best indicators, everything. You're one tweet away from getting fucked. So, but this is not new, right? Trump, we talked about Trump. I wrote a long article on CoinRock Media about Trump psychology. We have seen this before. Trump plays hardball, markets crash. We've seen this before. Go back to 2017, 18, 19. Then, when certainty returns, what you have to understand is, even if it looks bad now, even if you're down, even if you're sad, you blame yourself, you have fear, pain, anger, the markets will always turn. Always turn. This might take a few weeks, might take a few months. We might see something interesting in April. I'm leaning towards something on the upside in April. But again, we're not in an up only scenario. So it is possible that we see some news. We have a lot of updates, and we'll keep you guys updated on what's happening on the TradFi side in April. The Fed, of course, dictates a lot of what's happening now in the markets. And please, if your bags are down in crypto, you have to understand that some of the biggest stocks in the world, Nvidia, Apple, are down. So of course, crypto is going to drop. So my thesis is very, very simple. I've been public about this. When the market turns and we see this playing out, I will retweet this and I will congratulate you guys. And please remember this stream. Please remember this stream. Remember this tweet. Remember this stream. Remember these streams that we do almost every day. Today I'm like, I have extremely high fever. I had fever all day. Team was like, hey, maybe you should take a day off. I'm like, yeah, I haven't really taken a day off in a year and 3 months now. Like the definition of a day off for me would be, or should be, no phones, no communication, no work communication, no team interaction, nothing. Just out in nature. And I haven't had that in over a year and 3 months. I have to be busy. I'm always, I need to be on the move and in action. That being said, in Web 2, right? I still run I still oversee and supervise my Web 2 businesses. It's much more chill. Sometimes I ask myself, why did I get into crypto? This industry never sleeps, and that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it's literally like I have fever today. We're doing this because also this is a commitment to the community. I want you guys to having been trained as a professional athlete, no one cares about your excuses, right? So yes, every now and then it's possible that you feel so bad, like let's say you throw up all day, you're white, or you have to go to the hospital. That's fine. There's a time and place to skip things. But unless there is an extreme medical emergency, I will be here on these streams if I've committed to them. And several people on the team are like, yeah, take the day off, etc. I'm like, I've been on pretty much all day. Went for a walk, of course, to kind of get out too. Worked out, did some yoga, but fever, like my skin is boiling, my face is like. So that being said, no one cares about your excuses, and so I wanted to come, to be on here and just share my thoughts with you guys, because I personally am not hurting, when it comes to investments and the vision that we have at CoinRock. And I know that many people are looking at their bags and they're down 40, 50, 60, 80, 90% across the majority of coins. But I want to, if only you could see what I see. I'd love to take you here, you sit here, and I just show you kind of the vision of what is very likely to happen in the markets. Again, not tomorrow, but at some point. My thesis is simple. The Fed will blink first. QT reduction, remember 2 weeks ago, QT reduction will lead to QE. It is just a matter of time. I know, guys, welcome if you just joined. This is a time of, you can notice I'm slower today because I want to give you my peace of mind. I want to give you my almost my nonchalance of what's happening in the market. There is no, I understand, again, both, everyone on the team, right? Both Kais and I understand that, because he's also very, very chill. And when I talk to my TradFi friends, CIOs, chief investment officers who run hedge funds, family office investments, literally billion-dollar decisions. If you know where this is going, there is no reason to panic today. If you're panicking today, it's too late. And so my point here is, it's kind of like an exam, right? When you wake up and you are stressed out because you have an exam that day, you're like, oh my God, the exam's in 2 hours. I need to study. It's too late. What's up, guys? Nathan, Jack, good to see you guys here. The true warriors here. Kobe, G Money, say hi. If you're here, say hi. Drop a comment. It's always good to know who's on. This is and the fact that you're here is also a commitment to you. Like I said, I have my head's gonna explode. I have a headache. I did some yoga today. My eyes and my face are gonna explode from fever, but I'm like, no, let's do this. Let's do this. And I feel like I have, because we have a very, very strong, I say one of the strongest communities in crypto, with CoinRock, because we've built such goodwill with the community. We've always operated with the highest integrity, always operated with transparency, and including a lot of you guys on the when it comes to major decisions, when it comes to CoinRock projects and everything. I feel that as leaders, we have a responsibility to show up when it's tough. I did a spaces the other day, Saturday morning, my time, early morning, with Lucas. Lucas showed up. It was late in his time zone. It was very early in my time zone. Saturday morning, you're not, quote, supposed to be doing spaces, right? Especially when the market's dead. And we showed up. I think we were on for like an hour and a half. It was great. For those who just joined, or we're catching up on what's happening at CoinRock, we onboarded Lucas. So Lucas is now a full-on partner at CoinRock Media. A lot of cooks, a lot of updates coming up. with that too, of course, right? So it's been a great relationship with him. And again, coming back to what I was saying about showing up here, thank you for the comments, Mark and Clayton. I feel that as leaders, we have a responsibility to show up. Again, we don't control the market. We don't control reactions. We don't control price action. You can also see me talk very little about price action when it comes to some of the CoinRock projects from the beginning, from uh, a year ago almost. I'm looking at the calendar here. Last day of March now. We did the pre-sale, I think it was the first week of April. Am I right? First week of April, like a year ago-ish. I've always, I could bull post nonstop, but I don't. I feel like we have a responsibility to do the right thing. And so, when the market is tough, we could disappear, we could be silenced. There's a lot of other founders that uh, that show their true colors really when it's tough, right? Do you show up? Do you talk to the community? We're in the groups. You can see me interacting a bit less than at the beginning about a year ago in some of the groups, just because I have very little bandwidth to interact on a daily basis in some of the big public groups. Um, I'm more active in some of the smaller groups and the private groups that we have. But the reality is, I feel that we have a responsibility because we really well, there's a few things. We really respect the time that you guys give to CoinRock, the effort, the memes that you come up with. We think it's very important to be good with the community. We've said this from day one, early January last year. And in times when the market sucks, it's very easy for and look, if and when the market turns, not if, but like when the market turns, we will have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people on these streams within the first, I'd say 15 minutes, right? We're 22 minutes in here. There's 55 people. And I respect you guys. Like, I respect you guys for showing up because, you take it seriously. I think that this is also a great testament to you and your commitment to, your positions, your financial future, the community too. So for us, we also want to give takes that have credibility and believability. So when I post this stuff, right? When I put this thesis, I don't flip flop. And if you've been here for months, you know that my positions were extremely clear. I have said this for months. I said short-term bearish back in January, actually back in November. And then this is my thesis. The Fed will blink first. QT reduction will lead to QE, which means more liquidity in the system. Interest rate cuts are on the way. We have the first pro-crypto US president in history. We have, every week I show you these headlines, right? SEC cases getting dismissed left and right. Dozens and dozens and dozens of high-profile SEC cases getting dropped. I think we have one or two today that I want to show you guys. We have countries and states competing to not to be attract, but to attract. I wanted to write to be attractive and then to attract crypto capital and talent. We talked about this too. To me, with my time horizon, which is not trading the 1 second chart, it's not about the next few minutes, hours, or days. To me, in the mid to long term, with having a mid to long term time horizon, this is the most bullish setup I have ever seen. From all cycles, every cycle is different, right? I think one thing, there's something to say about fractals and trying to say that, oh, this cycle is like 2017, 2018, or like, oh, this is like the bear market of 20, post FTX. The players, like the elements in this cycle are very different. I think it's a mistake. I understand why people do it, of course, because you want to go back to, again, we're all human beings. You want to go back to what you know. So it's like, okay, I know a few cycles, so I'm going to compare this cycle to how it was before. But the truth is, if you take a very neutral and unemotional view, the reality is we have never seen what we are seeing now. Every cycle is different. We've never seen, like I said, a US president being pro-crypto. We've never seen SEC cases being dropped the way they're getting dropped. We've never seen countries and states in the US being competitive and trying to attract you guys, us, founders, builders, venture capitalists, right? Talent and crypto, states, countries are fighting to attract, to get attention and to get people who then move to different countries to start a crypto business or to, get residency. And so to me, remember this: when a lot of the big gurus, big names, big accounts on Twitter who have a lot of like 100, 200, 500,000 followers are openly bearish now, right? They were bullish up to like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Now, suddenly they're bearish. First of all, if you just turn bearish, you're clueless. Like, you have zero view on the market. I don't care who you are. I don't care how many followers you have. If you just turn bearish now, you are a clown. We've been saying this for months, right? So I'm glad that this is all recorded, because we can go back and say, yes, I've been saying this for months, and you guys know. And I think you guys are in a much better position than the majority of people on crypto Twitter. That's why I say, invite your friends, send this to your friends, tell them to join, and come on to these shows, because, I give you the truth. I said this months ago. Short-term bearish, cautious, no real catalyst. Okay, Trump launched the meme coin. Looked a bit toppy to me. I've said this a few times. Literally, the word toppy. Said looked a bit toppy. What do we look forward to? Not much. Here we are, right? Cryptic asks, is short-term bearish valid? Short-term. So my view is we might see some sort of a relief rally in April. We might. It really depends on the macro. Again, crypto, I can show you, we can have coins that cure every single terminal disease on earth, and crypto will still drop if the macro sucks, or if there's uncertainty in the, from on a global perspective. So we might see, and keep in mind too, we've been dropping, like the sentiment is horrendous. Like there's some days where this is worse than, than many phases of previous bear markets. There's a lot of anger in the on the timeline, people insulting each other. It's wild. It's wild. And to me, it's like, do you guys not see where this is going? Like, this market is going one way, and that's up only once the macro has more clarity. And not clarity, but certainty. So to me, I have zero doubts. Zero doubts. Of course, no one can plan and predict a black swan. So by definition, a black swan is a black swan. Like you don't see it coming. There's this thing about, what if the Iran, what if the US, goes to war against Iran? That's a black swan. It's like, no. Like a black swan, you would not know the next black swan. That's why it's called a black swan. Like COVID was a black swan event. You weren't here in 2015, 2016 talking about, oh yeah, in 2020, we're going to see a big drop because of COVID. No. All these elements, right? The ongoing kind of potential of, so the potential of a war, whether it's the EU trying to fight Russia and Ukraine. I look, I grew up in Europe. I hope that the EU is smart and intelligent enough to not go to war and put soldiers and boots on the ground against Russian troops. It would be idiotic. But the EU has done a lot of moronic things over the last few years, so it would not surprise me. That is not a black swan. Like, it's been in the news for months now, right? Oh, the EU wants to, the UK, the EU want to send troops and all that. So that would not be a black swan. When Trump has a strong rhetoric against Iran, that's not a black swan. The rhetoric has been going on for years, even before Biden, right? When Trump was in office. A black swan is literally something you would not see. Of course, if you list 50 things, you can probably, one of those 50 might be a black swan. But barring a black swan, I have zero doubts that this is what happens. If you guys are here now, congrats. When this happens, please remember this stream. I'm feverish. It was one of those days where it's like you have zero mental, no clarity of thoughts. So this is when you go in like execution mode. You just go through the to-do list and you do things. And remember this stream, that despite the fear, despite the big Twitter accounts calling for the bear market, calling for, I saw Bitcoin 40K or 50K in one of the big Twitter accounts. I'm like, oh my God, like that you do not want that. And so that's it. My thesis is supported also by everything that we're seeing. So I want to go through. we're not going to stay for too long today, just because, every second I have like this raging headache. But I do want to walk you through a few updates here on the news. Number one, again, nothing new. Headlines, trade tensions, inflation concerns. Mr. Trump is playing with the markets. When he's happy, when he wants to send it, the level of up only will be something so memorable that your kids will talk about what happened. You know that meme, like, where were you when the market was up only? That's it. If this plays out, QE, interest rates, and just stimulus and bullishness in the markets, the level of up only is something that because we haven't seen euphoria in this cycle. I've seen euphoria. We have not seen euphoria in the last year and a half. And when it gets super toppy, I will tell you guys, this is a bit toppy. Let's be careful. Right now I'm saying I have full like I sleep like a baby. Full trust in this thesis. But again, all markets look like shit. So again, don't expect your coins and your altcoins to do well. They're going to keep bleeding. This is kind of what we're going to see. This is, symptomatic. Next one. This was, so on Mondays, we do a recap to the weekend. This was on, was it Friday, Saturday? Bitcoin slides below 84K. Again, we have these random days, right? Where it's like you'll see the price go up to like 86, 87. Like, oh my God, are we back? Remember last week? I think we hit like 88, and it's like, are we back? And I said, hang on, guys. Nothing has changed. And I'm saying today, same thing. Nothing has changed. And we're ranging. So again, there is no fundamental new news. And that's what's happening. That being said, okay, let's have a look at this one too. I just pulled this one up too because interesting to see. So one of the things that you want to look at is how high do crypto apps rank on the App Store. It usually gives you an idea for like the interest of the level of interest when it comes from retail. So something very famous for those who've been through a few cycles is when the Coinbase app trends as in the top 5, top 10, In the App Store, that's when you take profits or when you expect a pullback. Uniswap's US App Store ranking drops sharply as user activity cools. Nothing new, right? You can see this. You can see this kind of vibe of retail and traders even just being uninterested, not even checking in. So, of course, Uniswap's going to drop. Again, directly correlated to everything that's happening. And look at this. This is the volume. I mean, yeah. And look, talked about this for months too. Talk about here, October, November, right? This is when I tweet. So this is when I tweeted this, right? This one. On November 11th, I say, so it's here, right? Pumping. Why? Because the news, it's Trump, right? It's always we live in crypto is a news driven beast in a way, a living beast. So up. Okay, slight pullback, and then I mean, look at this. Just the volume speaks for itself. Less interest, way more interest during the, like literally triple the interest, and not the interest, sorry, triple the volume from September. Summer was a bit quiet. Summers are usually pretty quiet. You can see this, right? July, August, September, people are away from the screen. Literally, that's that's how it is. And then they come back, schools, Q4, bam, spikes up, and I'm like, oh, okay. After Trump, this is going to be. We might see some pullback, and then look at the volume down. We're actually lower almost than midsummer last year. So yeah, this is the same thing everywhere. But while that's happening, companies are buying Bitcoin, and that's what I want you guys to remember and focus on. Right? If you are a trader and you're trading very short term, you can make money. It's very difficult, like I said, to even good traders, even traders who made a lot of money in the previous cycle, are struggling this cycle. And I think it's refreshing to hear the honesty. I think it's very cool. I actually respect big name traders on CT who say that they have no read on the market. I think that's what makes someone interesting. And I think having a contrarian view to what the market sees, like in Q1, remember how many people were bullish in Q1? I wasn't bullish. And I remember in some of the communities too. Oh yeah, I'll give you an example. We have a one of the projects that CoinRock has invested in, funded, incubated, built, and launched is called Cyclics, ticker CYG, Cyclics Casino. And so we have a very systematic way of doing things. So in Q1, early Q1, actually late Q4, early Q1, we started playing with marketing campaigns just to find good hooks. I won't go into the whole process. I could do like a full show about that. Actually, I think it'd be interesting. And we look at the results. We look at, holder counts, so the amount of new holders. We look at volume. We look at the chart, and we're like, something's off. And looking at the macro, again, the Trump meme coin, general interest, kind of everything looking a bit toppy. And when everyone is super bullish, oh yeah, February, up only, March up only. I was like, yeah, I don't know, guys. I mean, I know, like my view was very, clear. And so now when everyone's depressed and in pain, you have these companies buying millions, hundreds of millions, in this case, $2 billion. So Marathon Digital launched a $2 billion stock sale to boost Bitcoin holdings. Because today, if your time horizon is long term, right? you should be loving these prices, whether it's your favorite alts, whether it's Bitcoin. This is when you buy. Like, this is when you DCA. There's also, you can get literally 5 to 10 times more today than a few weeks or a few months ago. So if you believe in the project, you believe in the vision, you can get 10 times more tokens now than literally 2-3 months ago for hundreds of, across the board. So this is when you have to remove your emotions, put that aside, and say, okay, if I'm playing the long-term game, and I'm not talking about 50 years, right? I'm talking about let's say the 6-month to 5-year window, because there is no quick money. Like, there is no, yes, you'll see the occasional meme coin trader who makes like $2 million buying this, this meme for like $8 and then makes millions of dollars. That's a lottery. But if you have projects that you like, or meme coins, or communities that you like, coins that you like, this is when you buy. Everyone is in max pain, max fear, anger. This is when you buy. The big boys are buying. And there will come a time when the market gets toppy that some of these big players, maybe not Marathon Digital, probably not Saylor, because he's very clear on what he wants to do with Bitcoin, is just hold it forever. But there will come a time. Ooh, can you hear that? Yeah, I'm like congested, head's exploding. So I think we'll wrap it up in like 10 minutes. There will come a time when some of these companies will sell, and they will 2, 3, 5x their holdings. I do think that if my thesis plays out, we'll see easily $200,000 Bitcoin, easy. Probably more. So conservative would be $200,000. So again, I'm not interested in the short term. I'm interested in what happens, when the markets return. And let me just have a look at my phone for a sec. When the markets return, and I want you guys to take advantage of these prices. And again, I'm not telling you to buy any specific coins. I'm saying that this is when you buy. It's up to you to pick and choose what you want to buy. But these are the times to DCA. Can we drop another 10, 20%? Maybe. But you will never time the bottom, and you will never time the top. But seeing the overall catastrophic, depressing sentiment, this is when you buy. You have to remove emotions. Moving on to CFTC eases rules for crypto derivatives market. Talked about this. Regulators, states, countries are making it easier and more interesting for projects. In this case, in a move that could reshape the future of digital finance in the US, the commodity, so the CFTC, has quietly dismantled key directives that once cast a regulatory shadow over the crypto derivatives market, which means there's going to be depending on what they do, there will certainly be more players in the US, which means more offerings for more ways to trade for traders in the US, and this is bullish. That's it. This is when you look at when you look at the multi-month, multi-year time frame. This is what you want to see. The opposite would be CFTC tightens rules. That's what it's like. Oh my god! And we saw it, right, under Biden and Gensler. Relief for FTX to begin $11.4 billion creditor payouts by May 30. So FTX, one of the, I'd say probably the most famous scandal of the last cycle. The exchange that was head-to-head against Binance basically went to zero. And so FTX, the collapsed crypto firm, will begin distributing $11.4 billion to its main creditors in a month, 2 months. This is very good. People getting money back. Guess what? These people are and were, many of them still are, crypto traders, investors. Some of them are bigger funds. A portion of that money will come back into the market. This is bullish, right? And so SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, was the founder of FTX, and he is now in jail. Whenever there's any bankruptcy process, it's always a fucking mess when it comes to evaluating claims, paying back claims, trying to make it fair for people who are owed money. It's never easy. And no one is happy. And so you take what anything above zero is a win. That's pretty much how you have to think of getting claims after bankruptcy. But this is good. Another one here, Hoc Tua. Remember this girl? So that meme coin launched, what was it, October, November, I think? Probably November. Haley Welch, the internet personality behind the viral Hoc Tua phenomenon, is no longer under scrutiny by the SEC. Following the collapse of her meme coin, she confirmed on Friday that the investigation had been formally closed without any charges or financial penalties. Someone made a lot of fucking money on this one. And someone celebrated on the weekend. So again, it was December. Soared to a staggering $490 million market cap before crashing by over 93% in minutes. So yeah, there's quite a few people who made a few $1 million. Probably, the top guys in this probably made, for sure made 8 figures net. And the headline here is really about, usually under if regulation was, let's say under Gensler, there is no way the SEC drops this 3 months in. So again, this is bullish. Again, this sucks for those who got wrecked, right? Not saying it's bullish for people who lost money. I'm saying that when you take a step back and you actually zoom out, this is what's happening. The SEC is dropping cases. Is it good? It sucks if you lost money. But this is what you want to see if you believe that the market will be up only at some point. Another one here. Trump, this was last week. Trump grants clemency to Arthur Hayes and other BitMEX co-founders. Again, a pardon. The US president granted a pardon 2 months in to ex-crypto exchange owners. Amazing. When have we seen this? Never. So, yes, this cycle is very, 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 very different. This has never happened. Another one here, of course, Saylor buys the... did he buy at 87K? 80, yeah, 80. It's funny. So there's this meme that he always buys the local top, right? Local, like the hourly top. The average price of the latest acquisition was 86.9, and now we're at 83. And so, but yeah, pretty sure he does that on purpose. So he buys 83.5, and he bought at 87, basically. Yeah, he bought what, 528,000. So now they own. Oh, they added 22,000 BTC. The purchase valued at 1.9 billion. Unbelievable. So, this is it's amazing to see the conviction that he has. Whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant. The conviction this guy has to buy and to top blast and to buy and to buy and to buy and to buy again, and to never change his view on the asset, and to go out and try to convince other heads of states, other entrepreneurs, other investors, other publicly traded companies, and seeing those trickle in, right? You can see, we talked about Metaplanets, the Japanese publicly traded company last week, over the last few weeks actually, being inspired by this and adding, I don't know the number. It was like, I think they own 5,000 or 10,000 BTC now, directly inspired by Saylor's strategy. So again, they're buying a lot. Should tell you something. Does he know? I mean, is he crazy? Maybe. But this is like, he's not selling. And what's happening too is when you look at MicroStrategy, so the company, right? It will create inevitable, remember this too, remember this. It will create FOMO with other company owners, other entrepreneurs, other investors, other billionaires who are going to ask, who's this Saylor guy? I'm richer than him. Let's buy $100 million of BTC today. It's happened over the past, right? You've seen countries buying BTC more and more. You've seen states being more open to crypto, and that will happen. Mark my words. In the coming years, people literally top blast. So billionaires there'll be a dinner, and they'll be like, who's this Saylor guy? All right, fuck it, just buy 100 million now. And they'll click on the app because game theory. Never underestimate the human desire to one up the neighbor. Whether you are just getting by financially, whether you have billions of dollars, I've met these guys, they're humans, they have their flaws, their issues, insecurities. The only difference is they have a lot more money than many other people, but they have their own issues. And when they see people having more of something, it's human instinct for these guys. And so you will see that happen. Mark my words. Another one here, I think this is the last one for today. Trump family ventures into Bitcoin mining with with American Bitcoin. We talked about this, right? We talked about how involved the Trump family is. Trump's sons here. The Trump family's crypto ambitions are expanding into industrial scale Bitcoin mining with the creation of a new joint venture named American Bitcoin. The operation is being formed through a merger between Trump family-backed American data centers and crypto infrastructure firm Hut 8, a major publicly traded crypto mining company. Hut 8, we are proud to partner with Eric Trump, etc. Again, can you please tell me the last time you saw this? Never. So ask yourself incentives, right? We talked about, show me the classic Charlie Munger quote. Show me the incentive, I will show you the outcome. Simple as that. You have to keep it simple. You have to keep it simple, please. And we'll end on this note, actually. When there is fear, when emotions cloud judgment, maybe cloud your judgment, fear, uncertainty, doubt, panic, anger, depression, sadness, self-hate, you have to, the way I see it is, you have to like physically wipe that off the windshield. That's how we were trained as professional athletes, is bad points, bad game, bad set, wipe that off. The sooner you can forget that and put that aside, the more you can focus on what's happening now. What's happening now is, keep it simple. You have never seen a president and an entourage this incentivized to make this industry work. Doesn't matter if you like Trump. Doesn't matter if you agree with what he says. I certainly don't agree with everything he says. But looking at the amount of time that he spends tweeting about crypto, his son spending time in the crypto ecosystem, tweeting, doing these partnerships, there is no way the industry doesn't full send up only at some point. That's it. So I hope I am able to calm you down or reassure you about what's happening, and to kind of get you to zoom out and to stop looking at your wallets and be depressed, because this market, when this turns and we get bullish, remember this. And for those who just joined, we're getting to the end of the show today. Quick recap here. I had this crazy raging headache. I'm trying to put that aside and do this show. I've had fever all day, but I wanted to show up for everyone here. Thank you for everyone who's showed up. We'll just wrap it up with my view here. You'll find this on my profile. Make sure to follow and retweet this. Send this to people around you. Put this in different groups. I'm happy to be proven wrong. That's the thing when you forecast months in advance. This is my view. Everyone's panicking, stocks down. But we've seen this before, right? In his first term, when certainty returns, the markets will explode. The only unknown is time. Is it tomorrow? Is it next week? Is it a month? Is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Do we have a few months like this? It's possible. It's possible. So, with that being said, I want you to zoom out and think of what type of investor you are. And that's actually a good question to end this show today. If you are a short-term trader, trade it. Just be aware that you will get liquidated anytime Trump tweets something crypto related or tariffs related. But that's okay. If that's part of the strategy, that's fine. But if you're not an active trader, if you don't have the skill set, if you have not learned to trade, if you're more of a, let's call it long-term investor, 6 months to 2, 3, 5 years, you shouldn't be looking at the price right now. There is no upside now, unless if you want to add to your bag and DCA and lower your average or just pick up, become a whale in some of the projects. This is when you do it. If you don't want to buy, there is no upside right now in spending time looking at the chart and depressing, because we will be going down. If Bitcoin chops sideways, also will keep going down. As simple as that. We'll have the relief rally every now and then. We'll have a green day every now and then, but we will keep bleeding. That's it for this show, guys. Thank you for showing up. I hope that you think about all this. Send this to people around you. We will be on tomorrow. I believe we have a guest tomorrow, so we'll do the guest show. Actually, no, we'll do the news first for about 45 minutes, and then we'll have the guest on. Appreciate you guys joining. Thank you for the comments. Always say hi when you're here, just so I know who's on. Thank you, Shia, Cryptic, Jack, GM, G Money. Who do we have on here? Mark, Jack, Nathan, Kobe. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it. And breathe. This is setting up to be a longer cycle, and just be patient, stay focused, go touch grass, do something else, but don't lose focus, because this will turn. And one day you'll be like, do you remember, Matthias, when there were only 107 people on at the end of this show, when you talked about, just staying chill and just staying focused, and we'll have 4,000 people on the stream and everyone will be like, oh my God, up only, Lambo time. It'll happen. You just have to survive now. All right, guys, thanks for joining. We will be on tomorrow. Wish you a good and healthy day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey, thanks for watching. If you got value from this episode, you're going to love what's coming next. So subscribe now. We drop new episodes and videos several times a week featuring power players, market movers, and insiders from the financial world. And if you want access to deals and insights we only share privately, hit the links in the description and we'll see you on the next show.